In 2021, our mates at Orbea launched, alongside their new Terra gravel bike, a campaign called Pachamama. The idea being that gravel is more than just a road surface. It's about approaching cycling differently. Now, what does gravel mean to you, though? To me, it's a combination of things in my cycling history that's led me to my current point. So I thought I'd take the inspiration from Pachamama and plan my own winter gravel adventure with a difference. One day, point to point, catching a train to the start and then racing the daylight home. Stitching together some beautiful, some historic, and some quirky places. The first challenge is a range of hills called the Quantocks. Small but perfectly formed, the views are stunning, the riding awesome. Then I hit the coast, riding along windswept beaches and dodging out-of-season holiday resorts. And lastly, as I get closer to home, my route links up to my current riding, the rides I do with my mates, which exploit the very best of the local trails, which I've come to learn intimately over the years. Because as much as gravel is about adventure, it's also comfort and familiarity. Nothing quite like cruising to the station at commuter o'clock and going on a bike ride instead.
Fancy seeing you lot here. Taunton Station. What a place. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not in my usual GCN cycling kit and wearing Isidore instead. We're actually in the process of making a video about sustainable cycling. This is all made from recycled fabrics, so it's perfect for my sustainable micro adventure. There is actually a little steam train that goes from here right to where I wanted to start my ride from. But it only runs once a day and the time didn't quite work out. Plus, I kind of actually thought that maybe that was just a little bit too much trendy gravel hipster vibes for one video. So I'm actually just going to cycle there. It's like another 30 minutes on gentle tarmac. Not a bad way to start the day. Right, see you in a bit. Whoa. Here we go. Okay then, this feels like the point at which the ride truly begins. We're about to go off-road for the first time. I have, according to this, 108.7 kilometers to go, which is a good chunk, isn't it? Just freaking love riding my bike. Ah, such a nerd. Gravel! The first literal high point of the day. So this is the top of the Quantocks, which is, well, you can be forgiven for not knowing anything about them, basically. It's a little known but very beautiful corner of the southwest of England. Actually, fact for you, it was the first designated area of outstanding natural beauty in England, so deservedly so as well. Fantastic. That direction, you've got Exmoor, which is kind of like the bigger brother, and then that kind of like browny soup over there, that's the Bristol Channel. So that's actually kind of technically sea, really. You've got to say, we've got an epic tailwind for today. If you're going to do a point-to-point ride, check the weather forecast and make sure you've got gale force tailwinds, and well, you can't help but feel good all day. Right, our route now carries on across the top of these hills. This is like an ancient ridgeway. There's a whole load of deeply historic things. We've got a Bronze Age hill fort we're just about to go over. Crack on. This bit just feels so ancient, these old gnarled beech trees. When I was a kid, it used to really freak me out, actually. I used to think this place was really spooky. Now, I just think it's absolutely incredible. What an awesome place to ride your bike. The Classic de Plage. It's pretty windy. So this is Brean Beach and Brean Beach. Apparently, it's one of the longest stretches of sand in Europe, which is pretty bonkers, and it's kind of just tucked away. Not all that many people know about it. Now, on a normal day where perhaps it's not blowing a gale, this would be a really easy spin, but absolutely stunning, it's got to be said. That is obviously still the Bristol Channel behind us. You can see there's two islands in the middle, Steep Home and Flat Home. One is English, Steep Home, the other is Welsh, that's Flat Home. And then you've got Wales in the distance there as well. They're uninhabited, but they were used as military outposts in the 19th century and again the Second World War as well. The reason that I've kind of done the detour to get onto the beach here is because for me personally, gravel kind of came from cyclocross. That was why I started riding drop bar bikes off-road. And so still now to this day, for me, when I'm riding, there's that element of cyclocross. I'm kind of trying to channel the greats like Sven Nys. And so riding on sand like this with the dunes in the background, it's like a kind of Belgian cyclocross race. It's cool. Right, hopefully this next section we should have a monster tailwind because we have seriously earned it. Right, let's do it. Maybe a bit of cross through to get through the dunes. Oh my word, it's so windy, my bike's getting blown off my back. Right, come on in. Back onto a bit of tarmac now. Been off-road for probably a good 15k. Mostly sand, bit of gravel, but I'm also now back on familiar roads. This was on one of my favourite training loops back in the day, and actually I've not ridden it probably since I retired from racing, so it's cool to be back. We are on the top of Crooks Peak now, which is probably the last major test on this ride and the last major bit of off-road as well. We had the Quantocks Ridge, then we've had the Classic de Plage all the way down Brean, and then we've finally come up here. This is the very end of the Mendip Ridge, and we're going to follow it all the way along before then cutting north back to Bristol. And well, it's what an epic day for it. Biblical, some might say. Well, you can probably see kind of starting to lose the light a little bit, which is, well, not surprising because it's getting on for the shortest day of the year, but also not ideal because it's still got 30k to go. So Bristol is within touching distance, but not the route that I had planned. Uh-oh. It's the Tunnel of Doom! There we go. There's literally a light at the end of the tunnel. Hello. That is the Tunnel of Doom, in case you hadn't realised. And this is the final lap. It's the Strawberry Line, yes, which is an awesome disused railway path, hence the tunnel, that takes me most of the way back home, and is going to be fast and flat and excellent. See you in a bit. Wow, cut it a little bit fine there with the light, as you can see, but it's not pitch black, is it? Anyway, gotta say, point-to-point adventures, the way to go. So definitely see if you can plan something similar. And the routes for today will be up on Komoot if you want to go and check it out. I've got to say as well, do make sure you head over to Orbea's YouTube to check out their Pachamama content. It's great stuff. So yeah, go and have a look. And otherwise, give this video a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it.